Already a cold night. We'll show you which communities could get down to freezing again tomorrow morning before a warm-up brings us some rain.
Plus, there's opposition to a proposal aimed at protecting hospital patients and visitors following a deadly ER crash this year. Why some medical facilities are not on board with the idea. Preventing disaster, a KXAN investigation follow-up.
And a potential fix for Texans who have been waiting months to get a driver license, but seeing the improvements depends on state lawmakers.
New tonight, though, some big items to talk about out of City Hall, with 3 Austin City Council members leaving at the end of the year. Tomorrow's City Council meeting will be the last for Council members Mackenzie Kelly, Allison Alter, and Mayor Pro Tem Leslie Poole. And it will feature a packed agenda with more than 140 items.
And they include the Austin City Council preparing to vote tomorrow on an ordinance to make hospitals safer in direct response to our investigations following a deadly ER crash earlier this year. One of hundreds of similar crashes our team found in the past decade nationwide.
But as KXAN investigator Matt Grant reports, some are pushing back on this potential change that's designed to protect patients.
Nearly 10 months after a drunk driver crashed into St. David's North Austin Medical Center, killing herself and seriously injuring 5.
So would bollards have been helpful in that case?
There's a potential yes.
Our ongoing investigation referenced several times.
And I was reading the KXAN report that was talking about how many facilities they found without bollards. If you look up the news articles from KXAN.
During the latest meeting of the Austin Planning Commission, some expressed concern over the City Council's upcoming final vote to require crash-rated security bollards at new hospitals, urgent care clinics, and standalone ERs, a safety measure currently not required by any local, state, or federal laws. Even though, as experts say, and we saw firsthand, they are effective at stopping a speeding vehicle.
Does it raise some concerns with y'all's department that we're not looking at this more broadly, or how we can be using safety bollards in other situations to more effectively prevent crash deaths?
An Austin transportation representative said the ordinance could be expanded to include other types of care centers, but noted current opposition from unnamed medical facilities.
And we've had some that said we don't like being forced to do this either through site plans or our existing facilities. What is that going to do to, I don't want to be flippant, but their architectural and their visual of how they wanted to present their facilities?
I'm just wondering if we know relatively a breakdown of how many hospitals are already using bollards at their entrances.
We did not take a comprehensive survey.
But earlier this year, we asked that same question, visiting dozens of hospitals across Central Texas, finding 16 with partial or no protection. The Planning Commission ultimately voted to postpone recommending the bollard ordinance, choosing to discuss it again at the end of January. But that may not matter. The resolution already received unanimous support from the City Council earlier this year, and the agenda for this week's council meeting waives a requirement for the Commission's review. That vote comes in direct response to our ongoing investigations. Councilmember Mackenzie Kelly, who introduced that resolution in July after watching our stories, tells us it's heartening to know we can move forward on council without a recommendation from the Planning Commission, and that the public deserves to have their voices heard on this important safety measure. At City Hall, Matt Grant, KXAN Investigates.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. Again, that council vote is set for tomorrow.
And it's one of the final items Councilmember Mackenzie Kelly aims to see through, as her term is up at the end of the month. You can catch up before the City Council votes. Our complete coverage is online for you right now at KXAN.com. Just look for the Preventing Disaster button on the investigative page.
Meeting Austin's rising energy needs is also up at council tomorrow, and it's likely to be a pretty contentious topic. The council will vote on the Austin Energy Resource Generation and Climate Protection Plan to 2035.
It's a plan that essentially talks about how we're going to meet Austin's rising energy needs while providing an equitable clean energy transition in support of the community's values.
And here's why this one has been so contentious. You might remember this plan got kicked down the line earlier this year because City Council and the mayor didn't think it went far enough in addressing climate change, most notably pulling Austin out of its portion of the Fayette power plant.
And that's likely to come up again tomorrow. At a meeting this week, Austin energy leaders said the Fayette power plant is, quote, an insurance policy during times of significant demand. And it also helped offset roughly $500 million in costs to customers during the 2021 winter storm. That item is likely to draw the most public comment tomorrow. The City Council could also give a final approval for the Austin Tourism's Public Improvement District to help bring in money while the Austin Convention Center is under construction. If approved, the Austin area hotels with at least 100 rooms would be taxed 2% of gross room revenue for the next decade. A large group of hotel owners have signed off on this. The money generated would be used to attract new events to Austin, as well as fund improvements towards safety and homelessness issues. Construction on the new convention center is slated to start next year. It's expected to be open before South by Southwest in 2029.
KXAN City Hall reporter Grace Reeder has all of this wrapped up for you right now on KXAN.com. And she'll be at City Hall for you tomorrow, breaking down all of those significant votes.
Let's take you out to the Trail of Lights. 44 degrees in Austin now. We are on par with where temperatures were this time last night in Austin, where we ended up down at 37, and that's where we think we'll get here tonight. You can see there's the 44 in Austin. Starting to see some 30s showing up in Bastrop and Giddings at 35, Flatonia as well. Then we've got 37 in Llano, 39 in Fredericksburg. Yet there's some areas that haven't quite released a little bit of light wind that may be mixing the air, keeping the numbers up, and we're at 52 in Marble Falls right now. Clear skies with the exception of just a few high thin clouds, plus very light winds should allow for another cold night. So we'll go with 37 again in Austin, mostly clear skies, but watch out. There could be some patchy freezes tomorrow morning. Not as many as we had this morning, which was considered a widespread freeze, but there'll be parts of the hill country, suburbs of Austin, and even parts of our eastern counties that get down to that magical 32-degree mark or colder. So don't let your guard down just because it's not quite as cold as last night was. Coming up in First Warning Weather, we do think that tonight will be our last night of 30s for a while. We'll show you warmer nights and eventually some warmer days before we start talking about rain chances. Multiple opportunities for that. We'll show you whether it adds up to much or not in First Warning Weather.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Promising news now for people who continue to wait months for an appointment to get a driver license. The state agency in charge is hoping to speed up that process with more staffing. The Texas Department of Public Safety is asking the state for $207 million to hire 1,200 new employees. Those employees would increase staffing at driver license offices and the customer service center. Staffing shortages caused the service center to miss close to 95% of phone calls in the past 4 years. The new DPS director, Colonel Freeman Martin, said the agency is also working on a new system that allows you to upload documents from home before your appointment rather than at the office.
We're not having to verify and scan documents and take hours in the office. They can do that stuff from home.
And the agency says it's seeing a 30% no-show rate at appointments in major cities. It plans to address that with a new system that allows people to cancel their appointments.
The world's richest man has reached another milestone. Elon Musk's estimated net worth has now surpassed $400 billion. He's the first person to accomplish this. This is according to an estimate from Bloomberg News. As Tesla shares hit a new all-time high today, Musk's wealth leapt to some $440 billion. And while the value of shares in Tesla have soared in recent months, it's Musk's privately held stake in SpaceX that's catapulted his wealth beyond that latest threshold. The Texas Stock Exchange, nicknamed Y'all Street, will set up shop temporarily in a North Texas mixed-use 12-story space. The Dallas Morning News reports the exchange will be located in the Knox-Henderson district. If you're familiar with Dallas, you know that that's kind of a trendy area. The temporary space will be home during the search for a permanent home. As we reported earlier this year, the first trades are set to happen at the end of next year, with listings in early 2026. This is all pending approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission, though.
FBI Director Chris Wray announced today he plans to resign at the end of the Biden administration. President-elect Donald Trump appointed him back in 2017 after firing James Comey as FBI director. Trump has since been highly critical of Wray and has already said he plans to nominate Kash Patel for the position of FBI director. Police in New York say fingerprints taken from Luigi Mangione match some prints found near the area where he's accused of shooting and killing Brian Thompson, United Healthcare CEO. Investigators had previously said the suspected gunman visited a Starbucks before the shooting and bought a water bottle and 2 protein bars. Police say they found video showing where those items were left and both were collected as evidence. Mangione remains in Pennsylvania tonight. A judge told his defense team they have 2 weeks to challenge New York's extradition.
Several people were hurt after a small plane crashed during an emergency landing at a busy intersection today. It happened in Victoria, Texas and South Texas. Police say the plane hit 3 vehicles and 4 people went to hospitals with injuries, 3 of them non-life-threatening. The pilot also survived and was under evaluation.
It's something designed to keep our most precious cargo safe during a crash, and experts say parents and caregivers are increasingly buying car seats that turn out to be fake.
Our Sam Stark details the concerning trend of people unknowingly buying counterfeit car seats online and what you can do to make sure yours is legitimate.
With all the holiday sales, you might feel tempted to click the purchase button without much thought.
Maybe not a big deal for some items, but
so we have seen an increase in the number of what we call counterfeit or knockoff car seats.
Stuart Williams is the injury prevention manager at Dell Children's Medical Center. He says increasingly, after giving birth to a new child and preparing to leave the hospital, Dell nursing teams have noticed families showing up with car seats that aren't quite right.
They're often marketed with a very, very low price point, which is attractive to especially vulnerable families.
But because they are counterfeit, if there's a crash and someone is injured, families may not be able to hold manufacturers accountable like they can with legitimate ones.
And there's an increased risk to you and your child because those seats are not necessarily meeting the federal safety standards.
They could be missing labels, warning labels, instruction labels on the car seat, manufacturer labels on there. So they are just not the safest for kiddos to be riding around in right now.
Emily Thurman with the Department of State Health Services Safe Riders program adds you can make sure a car seat is legitimate. Caregivers should look for things like a sticker saying the seat is approved by the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards or a registration card.
They look just as safe. And so if you aren't in the know and you aren't educated on what to look for when purchasing these car seats, you could purchase a counterfeit one.
Sam Stark, KXAN News.
And if parents are still unsure if they have a counterfeit car seat, they can go to a Department of State Health Services Safe Riders program distribution site. Those are all over the state. These sites can also help provide a free car seat to eligible families. Going in depth, around 46% of all car seats are also not installed properly. That's according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Also, the agency says in 2022, more than 700 children were killed in crashes and more than a third of them were unrestrained. Roughly 300 of those children were in the 8 to 12-year-old age group.
Today, the KXAN First Warning Weather Team was honored with the 2024 Climate Coverage Champion Award from the Austin chapter of the Citizens Climate Lobby. The local chapter is a nonpartisan climate group hoping to advocate for policy changes to fight climate change.
KXAN has really been in the forefront of broadcasting the relationship between climate and weather.
And separately, Jim Spencer received an award for his decades of climate change coverage at KXAN before his semi-retirement.
He still comes back.
I know, he does. Congratulations.
Well, thanks so much. It's super important for not just myself, but our entire team to incorporate the connections between weather and climate. We know sometimes not everybody wants to hear it, but there are important connections to be made, and we're going to keep doing that. That includes the connection between chillier weather, too. A lot of people say, well, it's getting cold. What about climate change? Well, you can still get climate change to continue here with cold snaps. But these cold snaps just get shorter on average with climate change, according to some research done recently by Climate Central. We're at 44 now. That's chilly, right? In Austin, we're starting to see some 30s outside of town, and we do expect these temperatures will drop way down into the 30s to begin your morning tomorrow. Not quite as widespread of a freeze as what we had earlier this morning, but we still think it's going to be cold. In fact, right now, Austin's temperature identical. No 24-hour temperature change in Austin compared to this time yesterday. Areas northwest of us are warmer. Areas southeast of us are colder. So we think we're going to be in for similar, if not slightly warmer temperatures overnight here tonight. We still think we get down to 37 in Austin, though, and patchy freezes, especially in the hill country. But then the numbers start to climb, heading for 65 in the afternoon would be about a degree above average here for this time of year, and a very pleasant day, even though the clouds will be thickening up. Not quite as much sun as we enjoyed here today. So sun gives way to clouds tomorrow. High of 65, that warmer south wind helping those temperatures to climb to slightly warmer than today, even with the cloud cover around. Here's where the clouds are coming from. We're already seeing some high thin ones to the west, and they will get thicker as we head through the day here tomorrow. So here's how your Thursday looks. We start mostly sunny in the morning, but then clouds thickening up slowly through the day, and we'll see more of those clouds, especially for the afternoon, turning mostly cloudy by late afternoon and into tomorrow night. Then we get into Friday. Now, while Thursday is dry, Friday, not completely. We expect a mostly cloudy sky and a few spotty showers. These may not amount to much. A few sprinkles here and there, maybe a 1/100 of an inch in some spots. But there may be enough drops to warrant not washing your car maybe on Friday. Then we head into Saturday, higher rain chances, but still not widespread. We're looking at scattered showers and perhaps an isolated thunderstorm from the morning through the middle of the day and even into the afternoon. But I also think we'll manage at least a little bit of sunshine here on Saturday. Of the 2 weekend days, Saturday is the wetter day, but remember the rain coverage is only scattered. High of 74. By Sunday, though, a little more sun, only a 10% rain chance, and with a bit more sun, it should be a warmer day as we head for 75. By far, our highest rain chances come after the weekend. Monday, highest rain chances of the next 7 days. This rain coming ahead of a cold front that'll come in late in the day Monday and drop our temperatures a little bit, but scattered to numerous showers and storms on the way here for Monday. This model has Tuesday dry. Others I'm looking at has Tuesday showery. So we're going to keep low rain chances on Tuesday and on Wednesday as well. So basically we've got rain chances from Friday all the way through the middle of next week. But see, they are higher there on Monday. Second highest or second best chance you get rain is on Saturday. Still, it doesn't amount to much. We're thinking most areas east of 35 get a 1/4 inch to an inch, but most of the metro, including Austin and west into the hill country, gets a 1/4 inch or less. So this is not a significant rain. It's just kind of a little damp here and there and a little bit showery too. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. And you can see the 70s are back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mid-70s even. Then that cold front comes in, brings the highest rain chances of the week, and then drops our temperatures a little bit down into the mid-60s Tuesday and Wednesday.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Texas is in the midst of preparing for its second straight college football playoff appearance against Clemson. Good news tonight for offensive lineman Kelvin Banks Jr. He won the Lombardi Award, which goes to the best lineman in the country, defensive and offensive. He's just the 4th Longhorn to win the award.
It's just so amazing just what the Lombardi Trophy means to the people who presents the award, the committee who votes, all the frontline people who the money goes to that the Lombardi makes. It just means so much to me just because that's what I want to do for my life. I want to be that guy who goes out and supports no matter the situation, no matter if I'm getting something in return from it. I just want to go and be that person who puts a smile on people's face.
All right, now you can also look ahead to 2025 starting tonight. That's because the SEC announced the 2025 schedule. So here's a look at the slate for Texas. They begin the season August 30th at Ohio State, then back home for 3 games, San Jose State, UTEP, then a bye on September 20th, then close September hosting Sam Houston State. October, the Longhorns will be away the whole month at Florida, at the Cotton Bowl for the rivalry game with OU, at Kentucky for the first time in program history, at Mississippi State. Then they return home November 1st against Vanderbilt. And then they close with 3 intense games at Georgia, and then they will host rivals Arkansas and Texas A&M. First game at home against the Aggies since 2010. College basketball, the UT women haven't played a game on their hallowed ground of the Moody Center in almost 3 weeks. That changed tonight, much to their delight, certainly. Texas in the mood hosting Southern. They did the teddy bear toss at halftime. Always nice to see that every year. First quarter, Longhorns just dominated Southern. Jordan Lee with a three-pointer put them up by 11. How about Kyla Oldacre with the steal? And she takes it all the way herself for the layup. 16 points for Oldacre. And then Shea Holly with some more defense. Get that out of there. Nice block by Holly. Taylor Jones, a force inside on the night with the and one right there. She had 19 points. And then Madison Booker, also a good night for Texas on the fast break with the layup there. Texas up by 30. And yeah, Taylor Jones continuing her good night with this great turnaround jumper. Texas wins 97-39 to improve to 9-1 on the season. And finally, Austin FC's new head coach took the time to surprise some lucky shoppers at the Tech Ridge HEB today. He bought several lucky customers groceries. This is part of Austin FC's season of giving, activation, surprise, and delight. Reminder, you can find more sports on KXAN.com.